What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today is July the 17th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points, just had retail sales, manufacturing index, and initial jobless claims, all essentially coming in better than anticipated. So retail sales came in at 0.6, forecast of 0.2, initial jobless claims 221 versus 230, and then manufacturing index of 15.9. So all very good data. Of course, this does pop the likelihood of a earlier cut, but I think the market's already long past cared about that. So the market might actually take this for face value, being a good catalyst to really move higher. Currently, futures are somewhat mixed. Dow is down 0.19. S&P, it is exactly flat, and then NASDAQ up 0.17. So as soon as that data did come out, you are seeing a nice push higher. So that's relatively good. It's good to see the market actually take data truly for what it is, rather than inverse and trying to digest what that means for interest rate cuts. Currently, though, you do see the fear and greed index under the greed category, meaning people's appetite for risk is on the table, and that is very resemblant based on a lot of the stocks that I'm going to be talking on. And I feel like there is something very weird happening today, but getting right to it, SoFi is up slightly. No news, no SEC filings or anything like that. 14.27% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 154.8 million shares overall are being shorted. So I don't really anticipate shorts to be that active today. They haven't really been active this last week, but Friday should be a big day, and that would be linked to options. So stay tuned for my dedicated SoFi video. I'll kind of touch on that a little bit more in depth, but with it right now during the pre-market at 21.42, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. So I feel like today is going to have another nice run overall, and we do have a 52-week high currently of 21.86, so not far off. And so essentially, even moving over to the 1 minute chart, 21.88 is going to be pretty much the moral of the story. Kind of that's where it can go. So that would essentially be a new 52-week high. So yeah, SoFi is kicking ass, taking names. It's been consolidating and kind of stagnant over the last couple of days. But honestly, I'm not really complaining about that. The fact that it's holding these gains is showing that Wall Street does feel that it should be at these levels. Aside from that, moving on, ticker is BSLK, so Bolt Projects. It is down 98.99% over the last 1 year, but it is up 92.7% during the pre-market. So like I said already, there is something weird that's happening. There's a lot of these types of stocks during the pre-market that is getting a abnormal amount of volume. No news from this company, no SEC filings, no speculative even rumors coming out about this stock, but you're seeing a lot of volume. And I think this is also the problem. A lot of these are having a dead cat bounce type of thing due to dilution. So I kind of looked at dilution tracker, and there is a lot of warrants out there. So essentially you could just be seeing some dilution happening behind the scenes. As far as shorts, 8.15% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 85,000 shares. So I think a lot of individuals might see this and start jumping up and down saying that, hey, we're squeezing or something like that. In my opinion, I actually think the latter. I think it's more oriented towards dilution rather than a actual genuine move higher. Because like I said, no even speculative things at all are coming out about this company. With it right now, though, at 401, it is trading between this R2 and this R1. So if you are wanting to trade it, day trade, just take note of some of these support levels. So 374, 299, and then 224. Flip side, if you do feel like this will move higher, 421 and then 496. And I've brought this up in the past. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with a stock diluting and you riding the wave up. You just have to really be cautious in exiting because you never want to be someone else's exit liquidity. In my opinion, if you want to do that, then so be it. But definitely this speaks volumes, down 98.99%. Moving on to the next one is very similar boat. That is XXII, so 22nd Century Group, and it is down 99.83% over the last 1 year. Still a lot of convertible products behind it, so it could be dilution, but there is one thing that did come out associated to this company. I don't really see this being that crazy. So it looks like VLN commercial launches confirm viability of the FDA's proposed reduced nicotine mandate. I don't know how that does result in what this company does. I don't know if this company was just tagged in this, but this is ultimately why it is moving higher. Kind of quickly scan this. I don't see this being a good catalyst. So once again, I think that larger entities are taking just random fluff news as a good excuse to somewhat dilute. So this is why, again, I said something weird is happening. As far as shorts with this, 30.15% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 73,000 shares. So a lot of people do like this type of setup for a squeeze play, heavily shorted, low float. But the only problem with Ortex and a lot of other platforms is that if dilution is occurring behind the scenes, this number right here, the short interest, is incorrect, only because technically this is just going based off of the last disclosed outstanding share count. So let me know your viewpoint. If you're wanting to trade this though, with it at 741, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 613 is going to be a strong support. 1056 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So just watch for a lot of volatility with this stock. Moving on, SBET, it is up 9.68%, largely just because of the hype associated to cryptocurrency. Ethereum as well, which they just bought a ton of, is up a lot. So I think generally this is a good crypto type of play, or indirect crypto play. But right now 5.12% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 3.1 million shares overall are being shorted. With it right now at 41 and change, it is trading between this R2 and this pivot. 33.78 is going to be a strong support. I don't see that being touched. 62.04 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, and in my opinion, that definitely could be touched over the next couple trading days, assuming momentum does continue with cryptocurrency. And then moving on from here, ticker is BGLC. It is up 22.35%. No news, no SEC filings, no speculative things really coming out. Nobody really even kind of talking about it from a news or article standpoint. So it's one of those random mysteries, like I said. But aside from that, though, it is not heavily shorted, so 0.6 or 0.06, if I said that wrong, percent of the free floats being shorted works out to be 748 shares. That is it. That's probably the lowest I've ever seen a stock. So it's not heavily shorted. That's not going to be a part in today, but right now with that 527, it is trading between this R3 and this R2, so doing fairly well. So 459 followed by 414 is going to be support levels. 533 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, and if it is able to get above that, then it is fair to assume that you are going to see, based on the classic, the 726 kind of range. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Like I said, big money is really pushing a lot of these higher, maybe for some other purposes, but still, nonetheless, you can still ride the wave. So these are some pretty good day trades. Let me know your viewpoint. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point and bangers. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. And actually, on a side note, going back to pretty much the topic of the day, one thing that I was rather surprised in not seeing is that a lot of stocks should have been getting some volume because of the Genius Act. So that one, I feel like maybe the market doesn't overly care about that. So cryptocurrency and Coinbase, like Circle, should be getting a lot of volume, but oddly, they're not really getting much at all. So kind of weird for that. So let me know your thoughts. And with that said, everyone have a good kick-ass day.